What's going on, folks? UFC 281 live recap. The fights just concluded a couple minutes ago. What a card. What a savage card. I think they said that they set the record for most first round knockouts. And I believe the word, let me count it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 first round knockouts. In terms of finishes, there are plenty of first round finishes as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 finishes in the first round. Every fight was a finish with the exception of 3. Petrosky Turman, Kovacevic Juarez, and Jackson Arce all going the distance. Every other fight finishing inside the distance, including the main event, which has us talking about a brand new middleweight champion, Alex Bohatan Pereira, going out there, knocking out Israel Adesanya in the 5th round. What a tremendous fight from beginning to end. It's been a while since we've seen Israel Adesanya in an entertaining fight. The Whitaker fight was back and forth, but we knew that Izzy was kind of just touching him up and just being ahead just ever so slightly the entire way. The Marvin Vettori fight, the Blachowicz fight was surprising in the fact that we didn't expect Blachowicz to have as much success as he did. Holocaust to fight, quick finish. So, we can say it's been 4 or 5 fights now since we've seen Israel Adesanya in an entertaining fight. This was exactly that from jump. This fight was 3-1 in my opinion going into that 5th round. Izzy just needed to survive, similar to what fellow countryman Kamaru Usman had to do a couple months ago against Leon Edwards. Edwards going out there and head kicking Kamaru Usman into the 7th row, at least his head, and captures the welterweight title. So the 170 and 185 pound belts have switched hands in the last 2 months or last 3 months or something, I believe it is. And crazy that that happened to those guys, right? Those were the guys that were holding the records. They were right there about to, I tweeted it out before going live here on my own Twitter account, that Anderson Silva breathing a sigh of relief right now that his records still get to stay intact. One of them was he had the longest UFC winning streak ever at 16 straight wins. That was about to be tied by Kamaru Usman back at UFC 279. Denied. Number 1 middleweight winning streak was at 13, which is Anderson Silva's, was about to be tied tonight by Israel Adesanya. Denied. So Anderson Silva still sits at the top of the record books in terms of straight up winning streak and number 1 middleweight winning streak. What I quickly want to see here actually is if there's anybody even nearby that's active that could potentially pass that streak. Usman, obviously, he has to restart now. George St. Pierre retired. John Jones, I guess he could, if he ever fucking fights again. That's the issue there. But yeah, he hasn't. Obviously, his win streak is pretty much still intact, so he can do it. But he's at 13, and the leader right now is Anderson at 16. Demetrius Johnson had 13. Khabib had 13. Max Holloway had 13 at a certain point. Amanda Nunes had 12. Tony Ferguson had 12. Alexander Volkanovski, he could be the next one. He's at 12 right now. He needs 4 wins. And then just straight up in terms of middleweight, straight up, let's see if anybody can come close to Anderson Silva at this moment in time. Uh, Izzy just got pushed back. Chris obviously not around anymore. Romero not around. Whitaker not on the winning streak. Clermont long gone. Strickland definitely not. Damien Ryan no. Bisbing no. Mike Swick no. Chris Lieben no. Talis Latus no. Gegard Mercedes. There's nobody. Brad Tavares, but obviously he's not on a winning streak right now. Andre Muniz. Andre Muniz is on a 5-fight winning streak. He could be next. He'd have a lot of ground to make up, though. 8 more straight wins. Hilarious. All right. Before I continue into the rest of the breakdowns or the breakdowns, I'm so used to breaking down fights for you guys. The recap of the show. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. As you guys can notice, I'm doing this over at the Deadlock Podcast channel. This is the show that me and Clint do on a bi-weekly basis. So please do support this channel. We should be having this at least by, at 1,000 subscribers by now. But we're still not there. So the whole point in doing these live reaction videos after the fact is to try to grow this channel as much as we can. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe if you haven't already. My guy Clint, unfortunately, cannot be here with me this evening. Apparently, his not apparently, I know for sure his daughter is sick, so he's tending to her at the moment. So don't want to impede on his night too much, but I still want to drop some content for you guys. So, like I said, big win for Alex Pereira. You gotta believe they're gonna run the rematch back. There really isn't another contender up there at middleweight that's clamoring to get a title shot. So we can waste another 6 months on doing this rematch. Obviously, Adesanya deserves it given his status of being champion. Obviously, he was close to winning that fight as well. Should he have ridden out the last 3 minutes there? Crazy, absolutely crazy. Big win for Alex Pereira. Shout out to him. See what the live chat is saying here. My guy Jason Chung in the chat saying crazy night, tough card. Your boy cashed pretty well. 5.5 units. Run it up. Omar E in the chat. What up, my man? Crazy fight indeed. GSG in the chat saying that hooker widget was straight money. Man, that was the easiest play of the card. Easy money at great odds. Nicholas Lee saying, what a KO by Alex. I'm still in shock. Yeah, me too, my friend. Me too. Detroit Rennie in the chat saying, dope card start to finish. Can't wait to the Izzy and Alex rematch. Appreciate your content. No worries, my friend. Appreciate the love. But yeah, amazing card. Nicholas Lee saying, well, Izzy's 0-3 to Alex now. Yes, he is. For sure. SKD saying, bro, I'm buzzing from this card, man. So sick. Feel that this delivered on the promises of Twitty and then some. I agree with you as well. SKD saying, congrats on the profit and thanks as always for the work. Cash hooker big with you. Let's fucking go. Tommy Unders in the chat saying, great night of fights. Absolutely, I agree. Nicholas Lee saying, well, on this card, no bets, but just picks. I'm 4-3 on picks. I think I went 3 and I forget 3 and 6. I could be off. Either way, I ended up 8 and 6 on the night. I oh no, wait, sorry. I got the main event wrong. So I think I ended up 7 and 7. Weird fight, but I'm still glad to end up with some solid cash in my pocket after that. Small World Lifter saying Reyes, it's over. Yes, it is over, unfortunately. GSG saying, what the hell was the line for Poirier sub? I'm not sure. That would have been a good nab, especially round 3. I think that would have been sick. Small World saying 5 units on Moicano fight under 2.5. Wish I put more. Yeah, I wish I bet that. I was close to betting it, but I didn't. Small World Lifters also saying Izzy can't beat anyone bigger than him. That seems to be the case. Seems to be the case. He's also saying cash side Blanchfield, but subline. I wouldn't have even looked at it if you hadn't shout out. You're shooting this week. Thanks, Manpreet. No worries, my friend. Appreciate you cashing on that as well. And hey, I saw you talking shit about, Zhang winning by sub. She won by sub, my friend. Again, I'm not sure if I said it, but that's why I said go with the inside the distance rather than the KO straight up because of situations like that. So happy to take that. All right, let's get back onto on track in terms of talking about the rest of the card. Like I said, big win for Pereira. We know what's next. They're going to do the rematch, hopefully summer of 2023. That would be amazing. All right. Next up, Carla Esparza losing her title again. She's a 2-time champion. Unfortunately, she cannot seem to defend the title because her next opponent is always the worst one for her. Big win for Wiley Zhang. Now she too is a 2-time champion. Do you think they run the Rose Namajunas fight back? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. Um, uh, there's that fight. There's a couple others. Let me pull up the rankings here for the strawweight division. So top five, we got Marina Rodriguez, who just lost. Number five. Number four, Jessica Andrade. I would love to. Well, again, she actually just got starched by Zhang when Zhang won the title the first time. Amanda Lemos, who just won and is probably deserving, and that would be a great fight. Weili Zhang against Amanda Lemos, sign me up. And then Rose, obviously lingering there too. Maybe they do Rose Carla for number one contender. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many other things that they can do. Tracy Cortez is obviously still on her way. Tracy Cortez, sorry, Cortez is up at flyweight. I just saw Amanda Hebus ranked at strawweight, and I'm like, Hebus and Cortez are fighting each other. So is what it is. But yeah, nobody else in the top 15 in the strawweight that stands out. Emily Ducati, but like she's still a ways away. So the only contender up next, I'd say, would be Amanda Lemos. Let me know what you guys would rather see: the Rose rematch or Amanda Lemos. Let me know. Jack saying won €50 by Zhang sub. If Chandler won, I would have won 350 somehow with my crazy bets. I am 2K up in total. I love it. Love to see it. Small World saying, yeah, I was chatting shit about Zhang sub. Appreciate you loving me. Hey, I'm glad that you owned up to it. That's the main thing. It's all good, my friend. Man, you can never see those types of situations coming, right? Yuri subbing Glover. That's all I need to know, that submission is always on the table. So no need to get greedy. And it was only a 20-cent difference, right? You're getting plus 120 on Zhang by KO, plus 100 for her to win inside the distance. Not too big of a difference to just take the lower number there. Jewish Bear saying 1,600 second time in 1 year. 10K slips my hands with a round 5K on a title fight where my guy is winning. That sucks. So close. Also took Blanche KO plus 1050 on Bet Online, and that was Def Life. That was close. I was shitting my sub prop there. I'll definitely say that. JSG saying Meatball got smoked. Yeah, absolutely. Small World saying when Chandler lost and Zhang won, I bet prayer, even though I thought Izzy would win. Favorites never sweep the top three fights. Some advice for y'all. I will never really buy into those narratives, like that type of narrative, right? For me, like every fight is its own fight. I don't care what the stats say about main cards or favorites and all that shit. What is the matchup in front of me telling me? That's it. Jack saying, yeah, Blanche could have gotten a TKO. That was close. She just couldn't, she didn't seem like she could get or posture up enough to rain down a big enough shot for the referee to start stepping closer and closer. That's the difference. Smart was saying, yeah, I was worried about the Blanchard crucifix because she did it in the Maverick fight, but I know Molly is a warrior, so I took the risk. All good. Sammy Davis saying, would love to see Lemos first before Rose again. I agree. Rick the Ruler saying, Izzy lost. That's all I care about. Made my night. LOL. That's jokes. Well, let me know in the chat. My guy Sammy Davis already let me know. Who do you guys want to see Wiley Zhang fight next? Carlos Esparza? Or sorry, no, there's no reason for the Carlos Esparza rematch immediately. Rose Namajunas is already 2-0 over Zhang Weili, so I'm sure she has a motivation in terms of getting that back. Or Amanda Lemos, fresh face. Why not? Fun fighter. We know it'd be a fun fight. SKD saying Blanchfield performance of the night. Wish I could see Portnoy's face after the mauling. Wish Marley the best of luck, but Blanchfield is a real motherfucker. I agree. I absolutely agree with you, my friend. That's why I was like mystified that they even took this fight. Why would you fucking take this fight? Horrible, horrible approach from them there. Drew Sparrow saying it's a game of inches. I'll take any winnings, though, not upset. Yes, sir. All right, let's keep moving on down the card here. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. What a fucking fight. Am I right? What a fight. Both guys brought it. Obviously, we got a chance to breathe in that second round. But that first round, I immediately tweeted round of the fucking year. Maybe a round for Teixeira and Yuri could possibly contest to it. But from top of my head, that might have been round of the year, round one. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Was there another round this year that was as electrifying as that first round? Because that was insane. Both guys hurting each other. I thought Poirier deserved to win that round because I thought he was doing more damage. Obviously, the momentum was starting to favor him as well. Crazy. JSG saying Chandler already in the Hall of Fame. That's so true. Dude, the guy, how many fights has he had now? Let me pull it up from one, two, three, four, five fights. Five fights in the UFC. And look at these fucking names: Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier. Like, those are his first five UFC fights. Now he's 2-3 in those fights, but brings it every time. Makes it a war, makes his opponent have to work for the win. Shout out to Dustin Poirier, eating those big shots, still coming back, getting the dub, pulling off the submission. Insane. I don't know what you do with Poirier next. Do you do Poirier versus Beneil since Islam is fighting Volkanovski? You do Poirier Beneil for an interim title? Who knows how quickly Poirier wants to jump in there again? But I think that would be next. If Dariush is okay to wait until Q3 2023 to potentially fight for a title, so be it. But if he wants to stay active, add another solid name to his list. Dustin Poirier, right there. And I think I would bet Benny Dariush over Dustin Poirier. I would love to see what the odds would be for that fight. That's a very winnable fight for Benil Dariush. All right, this one I didn't wasn't really excited to talk about because of the unfortunate way that Frankie Edgar went out, but Chris Gutierrez picks up a big knee knockout, and that just shows you the where his career was headed anyway. Now, like if you look at his record, and you look like okay, when he lost to Chan Sung Yung, lost TKO punches, but his last three losses have all been by singular strikes. Corey Sandhagen, flying knee. Marlon Vera, kick. Chris Gutierrez, knee. Prior times that he's been finished, it was by, well, I guess the Brian Ortega one was a punch, that hellacious uppercut that Brian Ortega landed. But unfortunate loss for Frankie. Glad to hear that he's going to be hanging it up. He does not need to fight any longer. I feel bad, but I have money on Chris Gutierrez, so I was happy to cash that. Happy for Chris. Happy for Mark Montoya, obviously his coach, who just got out of the hospital Thursday night, flew to New York from Denver yesterday just to be in the corner for his guy Chris Gutierrez in the biggest spotlight of his career, and he comes through big for him. Shout out to Chris Gutierrez, and happy retirement to Frankie Edgar. He gave us a ton of memories. None of the last couple years that we want to remember, though. Kicking off the main card, absolute beatdown from Dan Hooker, 29-5 in terms of significant strikes. Recorded a knockdown as well. Claudio Poyas, 0 of 8 on takedowns. I won't lie, that first initial knee attempt that he had, that knee bar, just a smidgen of sweat for me. But I knew once Dan was able to clear the leg, the guy was safe. The guy's a veteran. The guy knows what he's doing on the ground. Stayed safe, got back to the feet, and absolutely butchered Claudio Poyas any chance that he could get. Big win for Hooker. Well, not big, but like big for his confidence in terms of getting his hand raised again after going 1-4 in his last five fights. Hopefully he stays at lightweight, but the man is a problem. I really cannot understand how people came out to the Poyas side. I can't believe that we got minus 145. Like, I haven't been then this mystified about getting a good betting line on a fighter since Jake Matthews was an underdog to Andre Fialho. Those are the two best bets of the year, in my opinion. Both guys, lock of the night plays. Speaking of which, lock of the night plays going to 11-0 now, or 11 straight lock of the night hits in a row. Very happy about that. Plus 27.59 units for 51% ROI. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's get back into the chat here before I go to the prelims. Jewish Better saying different ref, and that's over. Maybe also the Izzy fight. Maybe another ref doesn't stop that. Not saying it was an early stoppage, but you never know. It didn't look good. You know, the optics of him getting bludgeoned the way that he was didn't look good. And I know when he was like dipping his head, I think he was just trying to get out of the way and create some confusion. But like I could see how Mark Gardner was seeing that as being bad. But unfortunate for Izzy. We'll get the immediate rematch. Should be able to recapture his gold after that. I apologize for the yawns, guys. It's 1:40 a.m. over here on the East Coast. But I'm still buzzing. I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm still buzzing from this crazy card. Small World Lifter saying, why did Carla Zhang stand up? Don't you think that was a little weird? I don't think she felt comfortable keeping her on the mat. Like, I think that she was feeling that resistance from Zhang. I don't know. SKD saying, interested in your thoughts on the Izzy stoppage. I think it was fine as to preserve the health of a young legend, but I don't fault anyone for saying slightly early. I have the exact same thoughts as you, honestly. Like, I think the stoppage was fine. I could get the argument that it was slightly early, especially for a champion like Izzy, especially for a guy that was about to tie the record for most consecutive middleweight wins in the history of the UFC, about to tie Anderson Silva's record. I can get why you can be like, that's a little early. Let the guy fight a little bit more, but he was taking too much damage. Jason Chung saying Poirier McGregor 4, Connor breaks his other leg and eventually becomes Darth Vader after Poirier McGregor 10. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Crazy. GSJ saying it's a good stoppage. I could see that as well. Nigel D'Souza in the chat, shout out my guy saying, Manpreet, what the fuck happened? Usman and Izzy is in Ngannou next. Well, we're trying to get that Ngannou Jones fight. Maybe that's the one. Who knows? All right, let's get back on track with the just going down the card here. Prelim headliner, Hanato Moicano, Brad Riddell, last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Hanato Moicano locks up the rear naked choke, gets him out of there. Brad Riddell really fumbling the bag as of late. Came into the UFC on a 4-fight winning streak, or started his UFC career on a 4-fight winning streak, looking like a very good prospect. Runs into former training partner Rafael Fiziev, gets knocked out. Runs into Jalen Turner, gets subbed in 45 seconds, and now runs into Hanato Moicano and gets finished halfway through the first round. Money Moicano really making a name for himself by chirping on the mic the way that he is. Love it, love it, love it, love it. The guy is super entertaining to watch. He's a treat on the mic. He's creating a following for himself. Hopefully, we give him a big fight next, right? I'm giving him a pass for that Rafael Dos Anjos fight, given the short notice nature of it. Now let's get him back in there with another top guy. Let me see here the rankings. Hanato Moicano is surprisingly not ranked. This guy into the rankings. Hanato Moicano against Grant Dawson. I wouldn't mind that. Hanato Moicano against Dan Hooker. Wouldn't mind that either. Hanato Moicano versus Jalen Turner. Now that would be a great fight. All great next steps for Mr. Hanato Moicano, but he is definitely making a lot of fans the way that he's fighting and the way that he's chirping. Big, big win for him there. Ryan Spann ending the night of Dominic Reyes, 1 minute and 20 seconds into that first round. Big punches by Ryan Spann, and that was my biggest concern. I saw a lot of guys that I respected on the Dominic Reyes side, and on him big. I just had that concern that Ryan Spann could touch him early here, make it a tough night, and make it a quick night, and that's exactly what he did. Dominic Reyes, man, can't seem to take those punches anymore. Very unfortunate. Unfortunate that Teixeira MMA started the night 0-2, but Pereira was able to get that dub in that final fight for them. But very, very sad to see Dominic Reyes go out the way that he did. What do you do with the man, right? He's born in '89, so how old does that make him? 33. He's 33 years old. He'll be 30. Sorry, he'll be 33 in December. So he's still like technically age wise in his prime, but he just can't stand with these guys. He can't take the damage anymore. That's four straight knockout losses. Not a good look. I don't know what he does. He's too big to go to 185. And is he gonna just try to fight heavier punchers at heavyweight? He's stuck. I don't know, man. I feel bad for the dude. Possibly even getting cut here now, right? Four straight losses. Is the UFC gonna bring him back? Who knows? Nigel D'Souza saying Riddell and Reyes both getting cut. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. Absolutely possible. All right, moving on down the card. Aaron Blanchfield goes in there and absolutely obliterates Molly McCann. The fight lasts 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Aaron Blanchfield was able to get 2 minutes and 48 seconds of control time. She was controlling that entire fight outside of about 50 seconds. Gets the takedown on her first attempt, moves to, transitions so many times, gets that crucifix, elbows her head. She landed 93 total strikes in 3.5 minutes. Obviously, the majority of those coming on the ground and from that crucifix position. I had some money on the submission prop. Glad that comes through. Big win for Aaron Blanchfield. I have no idea what Molly McCann's management company was thinking about lining her up with somebody like Aaron Blanchfield. It's a lose lose. Aaron Blanchfield, still very young. Molly McCann, go fight somebody else, continue to build your skill set, continue to build your experience, then fight Aaron. But then again, maybe she thought she could catch her early and be like, all right, this is a good win on my record for somebody that's going to be much bigger in the future. 23-year-old Aaron Blanchfield getting it done again. 4 straight wins now in the UFC. Interested to see how they match her up next, but she could be a contender. She could definitely be a contender. Big win for her there. Moving on down the card, Andre Petrosky versus Wellington Turman. Not the greatest fight. Andre Petrosky landed 8 takedowns, 8 of 11, and further showing us that as much as we want to shit on him about his shitty cardio, the guy still goes out there and does absolute work in the third round. I think we got to stop that narrative. 4 minutes and 32 seconds of control time in round 5. Absolutely crazy. Goes 4-4 of takedowns. In round 4 alone, has his most productive round in round 4, outside of the strikes, right? He landed 26 strikes in the first round. He only landed 5 significant strikes in the third round, but again, landed 4 takedowns, 16 total significant strikes, and 4.5 minutes of control time. Absolute control the entire time. Didn't really seem like he was in danger too often. So big win for Petrosky there. Interested to see how they match him up moving forward as well in the middleweight division. Does he deserve a top 15? Why not? Throw him in there with a Brad Tavares. Throw him in there with a Nasruddin Imavov. But I don't know if Imavov will want to fight that far back. I just want to see Petrosky up against other grapplers, right? Like him against Andre Muniz would be very interesting for me. But good win for him. Another win for the Philly guys. They continue to roll. Outside of that, Sean Brady fumbled the other, a couple weeks ago. A good win for Andre Petrosky there. All right, another firefight that was on display. Matt, the steamroller Favola coming through in front of his hometown crowd. Big knockout victory over Ottman Azaitar, giving Ottman his first ever loss in MMA. He moves now to 13-1. Matt Favola improves his record now. I believe it's 10-3 or 11-3. But good win for him. Big win for him. He needed that one. Very happy that he was able to pull it out. 2-fight winning streak now for Vola. Let's see how he can continue to parlay it into a possible rankings run, right? He's a lightweight, very deep division. but still got some work to do. Women's strawweight bout here, another fight, one of the other three fights that went to a decision. Karolina Kovacevic goes out there and squeaks out a decision over Silvana Gomez Juarez. Very close fight. First round, Carolina. Second round, Savannah. Third round, seemed like Silvana until Carolina was able to. So they didn't count it as a knockdown, but there was a that sequence where she landed, she missed on the right, she landed the left, it stumbled Juarez, and Juarez also seemed like she tripped. She gets dropped to the ground. Carolina smothers on top of her. Doesn't really have too much success there. And then she also lands another good combination in that round. But Silvana seemed to be the one getting the better of her in that round, overall. Um, like even the numbers here, 44-38 in terms of significant strikes landed in favor of Silvana Gomez in that third round. Let's see what MMA decisions is saying. Let's see how the majority of people, or at least the media, scored this one. Oh wow, pretty much all Kovacevic outside of four scorecards. Now, this is where I have the problem, right? David Corelli scores round two for Kovacevic, but scores round three for Gomez. That doesn't make sense. Round two, I thought was pretty clear for Gomez. All right, let's see here. Fan scoring 61, scorecard submitted. Round one, 91% Kovacevic. No brainer. Round two, Gomez Juarez, 75%, 10-9. Round two, like I said, again, I'd agree with that. And then round three, 59% of voters had it 10-9 Gomez Juarez. Close round. Again, I had some money on Carolina. Good win for her. Both women, not really title contender worthy. Obviously, Gomez Juarez, 39 years old next month. Carolina, 37, going on 38. It was a good fight. Good win. Good shit. Small World Lifter saying Petrosky versus Gaslam were given battle rematch. I don't care for the battle rematch, honestly. Gaslam, I don't know if Gaslam would take it. What can we take away from that? A Zaitar fight? Not much. It's a slugfest. That's what Matt Frivola does. He gets into slugfest. Sometimes he gets knocked out. Sometimes he gets to knock out or he gets to finish. But Frivola still has a lot of work to do before we can talk about him being in that top 15. Low T City Ortega up 7 units tonight. Pereira bless my bankroll. Good shit, my friend. I was up about 5.5 myself. Very happy to cash on a night like tonight. All right, moving to the featherweight division. Big win from Mike Trezano. Needed this one. That probably would have been the end of his UFC career should he have gotten his hand, or sorry, should he have lost that fight. Sungwoo Choi ultimately now likely being the one that's going to be cut, as he's the one on a 3-fight skid. Trezano gets 2 knockdowns. Sungwoo Choi gets 1 knockdown. We got 3 knockdowns in the span of 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Big win for Trezano. Again, another guy that really has to find his way in this 145-pound division. Again, I don't think he has much potential, much ceiling, but he should produce on some fun fights. Talking about ceiling, we move down to the bantamweight division. Montel Jackson goes out there, wins 30-27 times 2, and then there's 129-28 in there where one of the judges gave Julio Arce round 1. I had an underdog play on Julio Arce, didn't really pan out that well. Good work from Montel Jackson. Hurt him in that third round, was able to, pretty much win the rest of that round. Yeah, good win for him, man. I'd still want to see him continue to develop his skills. Julio Arce, best win on his record so far, right? Look at the other guys that he's beating. JP Bays, Jesse Strader, Felipe Colares, Andre Sukumtad, Brian Kelleher. Julio Arce, biggest win. Any other time he took a step up in competition, Ricky Simone and Brett Johns, he came up on the short end of the stick. But Brett Johns and Ricky Simone grapplers, right? Julio Arce strikers. So I guess I got to give Montel Jackson a little bit more love for that striking game. But good win for him there. And then curtain jerker of the night, The handsome Carlos Alberg goes out there, knocks out Nikolai Negomariano halfway through that round. Wasn't even close. One of my worst bets of the year easily there on Nikolai. I really thought that once he could keep Alberg on his back, on his heels, he'd be able to push him up against the cage and make it grindy, make it dirty, wear on Carlos, and then eventually finish him later on, or at least win a decision. Carlos was bonking him every single chance that he got, and then he ultimately finished him. Big win for Carlos Alberg. Crazy, crazy fight. Small World Lifter is saying, is Choi's face made of sugar glass? What the fuck? Yeah, crazy. Choi not allowed to fight anymore, too fragile. Yeah, he's likely going to get cut now, unfortunately. Shane766 saying so many crazy finishes. What an entertaining card overall. I agree, man. There was 14 fights. Only 3 of them went to a decision. 11 finishes. Not often we see anything like that. So overall, probably card of the year, right? But big entertaining fights, all of that. My guy Big Ears saying lost a ton of money by telling Clinton hammering Ray should have taken fight doesn't go to decision instead. Hopefully Clinton is okay. His night was even rougher than mine. Yeah, I know my guy Clint. Uh, rough run for him on this card. I know he will bounce back. I wish he stayed on the hooker spot. He cashed out of 2 bets Riddell, which was ended up working out for him. But the hooker spot, man, I thought that was the easiest money play of the night. Outside of that, I know that he'll be back. I know that he'll bounce back. And I can't wait to do the show with him again in the next couple weeks. Small World Lifter saying, I thought 280 was a better card overall, but that Chandler Poirier fight was insane. Really? I don't know, man. Finishes and entertaining moments and stuff. I thought 281 had more moments than 280. Let me look back at 280. Like the main event of 280 was sick. Co-main event, Aljo and TJ was, kind of weird given the injury aspect of that. Yan O'Malley, fun fight, robbery. Gamrot Dariush was a whatever fight. Chukagian Firo was a whatever fight. Bilal finishing Brady was fun. Bahayo Muradov, not the greatest fight. Krylov, Uzdemir, not the greatest fight. Abubakar Gadzi, not the greatest fight. Petrosian Dobson, solid striking matchup, but still a lot funner fights on 281. Mukhaev Gordon, again, not a great fight. Rosa, yeah, I think 281 definitely better than 280. Definitely better than 280. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging with me on this. I guess it's Sunday morning now. Recapping UFC 281 with your boy. Live reactions, crazy card overall. Congratulations to both and news. Alex Pereira winning the middleweight title. Wiley Zhang recapturing her strawweight gold. We got another event next week, though, folks. Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak in the main event. And then we got a weekend off after that, November 26th. No UFC event. There's a Bellator this week as well. And just self-plugging myself here. I might do a Bellator 288 or whatever the fucking number it is. I might do a breakdown of that on my channel. Given that I have 4 fights left for this upcoming UFC card, if I can get that done by tomorrow, I'll turn my attention to Bellator and probably drop an episode of breaking down that entire card closer to the end of the week, though. Let me know if you guys want it. But in regards to the Deadlock podcast, me and Clint will be back next week. Not this upcoming week, but on the 23rd, November 23rd, we'll be back right here on this channel, getting back to our regularly scheduled programming. So make sure you guys come through for that. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate everybody that stopped by to check it out. Hope most of you guys were able to cash out tonight. Otherwise, we're right back at it for next week. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Have a good night and enjoy your Sunday as well. Peace.